Good morning, everyone. My name is Jen Riley, and I'm going to be your instructor for mental health, NSG 3202. I wanted to make this video for you guys. We have so much to cover the first week that a lot of this information, which is critical for you guys to know and be successful, is something that probably better that I could do in a video, so we can cover the real course content during the 2 hours that we have virtually. So if you don't already know, the class is on Fridays from 10:30 to 12:30. It will be virtual. I'll talk about how it'll be delivered, but I just want to acknowledge I get that by Friday we're all going to be tired. We're going to be tired post-clinical. I will also be teaching clinical and coming off afternoons every other week like a lot of you. So I just hope we can be each other's cheerleaders to get through Friday class, and I hope we have a good time. So, who am I? Forgetting the school piece, some people like to know my background, but I am a graduate of the Lambton College University of Windsor BSCN course, and having gone to another university, I have to say that I absolutely adored my education at Lambton College. It was nice to be a smaller school where you actually got to know the teachers and the teachers got to know your names, which helps for referencing and future jobs. Probably what's more important, what interests you guys more, is what my clinical practice areas are. So I come from a medicine, palliative, long-term care background. I'm still a staff nurse at Blue Water Health Casualty to keep my skills up. So I worked on medicine for at least 10 and a half years. I just this year switched up to palliative and am a palliative casual nurse there now. So full disclosure to you guys, I am not a mental health nurse. So this is stuff that I spent the summer reading and learning about, but it is not my area of expertise. But what I can tell you is, even though it is not my area of expertise, you 100% need these skills and this knowledge and this theory, no matter where you go in nursing. I have patients who I need to support in this manner on medicine, on palliative, when you're in long-term care. And if anything, I feel like these skills are even more important in those areas because there are times where you're going to see some mistreatment of patients who are experiencing mental illness. So one thing I want to acknowledge is, if you have a question I can't answer, I'm not going to make up an answer. I will acknowledge it and I will work hard to get you the answer for those things. It might take till after class. I have a great connection with the managers and nurses on mental health, and have some other people we can talk to. So I just want you to know that even though I might not be from that background, if I don't feel like I have the answer, I will try and get that for you. So please ask. So things to know about me: my pronouns are she and her. I might have met some of you with IPH, which not everyone enjoyed, but I was off on maternity for most of COVID. And I returned back April 2021, did some teaching in clinical. I have a 1.5-year-old daughter, Nora, at home, who has totally changed, is a game changer now that I'm full-time with a baby. And we have another little miracle baby coming in November 2021 that, we're told never could happen, sooner than I probably would have anticipated. So I unfortunately won't be here all semester with you guys. Just want you to know that they are already making arrangements for the instructor. Everything will remain the same in terms of the course being delivered virtually, same classes. It would just be a different face that's presenting to you. My final date or my day of going off on leave will be November 15th. Unless obviously Mother Nature and the baby comes sooner. So just so you guys are aware. I don't know if any of you know me, but if you've had me before or have talked to any previous students, I like to be prepared. I like to be on the ball, ahead of the game. But I will say online virtual is new for me, especially since I was off for COVID with my maternity leave when it really forced everyone to go virtually. So I've been practicing at home, but it is very different when you're having 1 to 2 people practice with you and then also handling a class of at least 52. So I just ask for your kindness and patience. I just want you to know if there's areas that I'm floundering in, that when the class is over, I'm going to be practicing and making sure I'm better at that. Suggestions are helpful for how best to teach you guys. Just I ask that if you provide them to me, you provide them in a respectful manner, but I definitely am open to feedback. You guys are the experts and I've been doing this for at least a year and a half, so let me know what works for you guys. So where am I? So I'm at home right now like you, but hope to get to meet many of you through clinical since I'm one of the co-leads with Lori Sharon. If for some reason we are back at the college, my office is in the old J hallway. So it's just down the way from Lori, Sharon, and Carol Banks, but I share an office with Diana. So please come see me when it's safe. If we're allowed to go back, I really look forward to finally being in person with students. And that's what I like about clinical, that I do get that opportunity. So virtual office hours are going to be Tuesdays 9:30 to 10:30 and Fridays right after class from 12:30 to 1:30. I'm still trying to figure out how to do a waiting room for that, and it'll be through Teams. But I suggest if you want to meet with me, please email me. That way I can make sure I slot you in. I recognize those times might not work for everybody. So if you want or need a different time, just email me and we'll figure something out and we'll do it through Teams. I just want you guys to know that Wednesdays and Thursdays, unless it's like an emergency, I will have no availability. I'm teaching clinical, and then there's always things that I'm going to be having to work on for clinical, even outside of clinical hours. So those 2 days are kind of off limits unless I absolutely need to talk to you, or vice versa. The best way to get a hold of me is through D2L, since that's where the majority of our course stuff is going to be. Message me through D2L for emails. And I will do my best to respond back. Again, if you talk to previous students, I'm pretty good about getting back to you, but just realize that I have 48 hours to respond back to you, and that I might be walking into 50 emails after clinical, and each one is important to the person who sent it. And so if you don't get a response that day, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just I'm trying to have some capacity, but I will respond to you in 48 hours. And so I want to get to know you guys. It's a little harder in these virtual classrooms, but please email me anything you want me to know about you. If you have a preferred name or pronouns, I'd really like to know that, and so that I use that appropriately. If you can even put that in your name when you sign in to do any of the online classrooms, if you like to go by, whatever you like to be called by. And it's not mandatory. I just want people to know if there's names or pronouns that you'd like me to use, please, I want to be respectful of you. Call me out respectfully, because I'm still getting used to this as well. Despite my best efforts, I might misgender. Please, I want to be called on that. I just ask for respect, and it would be the same the other way around. One thing I do say a lot, that's just part of my slang that I'm really trying to work on, is, hey guys. So I am really trying to work on that, but call me out. Sometimes it's just easier if someone else hears it and tells you said it. So please know you are welcome to say something to say, Jen, stop saying hey guys. So normally this is something we talk about in class, but because of the time constraint, I just want you guys to think like you are now you've completed your first year of your nursing program. You made it through pharm. You made it through a really hard winter semester. What went well for you? So think about what you did well. Where did you have successes? Where can you make changes? So where were the things that you faltered at? Now is the time before things really get out of hand, because it is going to get really busy. Now's the time to really reflect on, okay, what wasn't working, why, and make those changes. And what are your biggest concerns for this course? Obviously, I'm not going to get your answer right now, but please, if you have concerns for this course, email them to me so I kind of know the context, because I might just be assuming you're all thinking, well, I'm just going to be tired after clinical. 100% I will get that. Maybe there's things we can do that I can help so that we can wake up on the Friday morning. But yeah, just reach out if you have any major concerns. So class rules. You can't just do anything, and the same for me too. So, and I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times, but I'm going to tell you, I always look when I've had students who weren't successful in my courses. I go back and look at their attendance and attendance to office hours, emails to me, coming to class. And I'm not kidding. I cannot emphasize this enough. Evidence shows a direct link between attendance and academic performance. There's just things that you're going to take in through talking much better than a textbook. And not everyone's that way, but, it just will help you, because I do focus and try to teach a lot of what I want to test, and will give little hints. Attend virtual class regularly. I get things are coming up. If you can, please keep your camera on. Obviously, I'm going to have to ask you guys, because due to class size, to mute. But I want to see your faces. It is extremely lonely being on this end and talking to a black screen. It just makes it really difficult to engage, see if what I'm explaining is hitting the mark. So I really, if I can beg you for one thing, it's keep your cameras on. I don't care if there's kids. You can be in your house coat. Please don't be naked. But I just would love to see faces and engagement, and see if, what I'm teaching is actually making sense to you. So make sure you raise your hand if you have a question. So participate as much as possible. You virtual hand, ask questions. I'm going to try and have polls, and email me before or after class if there's anything that doesn't make sense. I really need to emphasize respectful interaction and conversations. So we're going to be talking about a lot of triggering subject matter, things that people in our class have lived through that are extremely difficult. I will try and have some trigger warnings. So there's going to be a discussion of subject matter that also may have varying views. And I don't want to have a class that has a cancel culture. I want to have a class that is respectful of everyone's views, so that we can have really engaging conversations, because that's one of the best things about being at a college or university setting, is that if we can enable a way to have conversations, to hear other points of view. So I want to have difficult conversations to create a safer and better environment. And you don't have to agree with everything I'm saying, another student's saying, but it's nice to hear where other people are coming from. I will not tolerate disrespectful behavior towards other students or myself, and I would hope that you would expect the same from me. This respect extends into email communications. So if you're emailing me something, recognize your emotions, what you're feeling. If you have anger or stress, sometimes I suggest write the email and then go back and read it in 24 hours and then decide to send it. Hopefully nothing comes up, but every once in a while you get an email from a student that is really hurtful, and you can understand they might have some stress behind it, but I'm just trying to teach you guys some skills that you'll need in the future, because you wouldn't want to be messaging a manager like that. And please email me concerns. If there's things or topics or discussions in class that just don't sit well, I'm open for those conversations. We did some education for faculty over the spring break, and one of the terms that I really liked that hit for me, especially when we get into mental health, is this Ojibwe term, and I apologize, I'm probably going to butcher it, and if anyone is from this tribe, please, if you can correct me in class. So it was Miskosowin, and it's all things that happen to you, with you, and for you in your life. So it's just a way, the way I think of, the way I can explain it is a lens you use in the world and how you make every decision and choice you make. And basically it's You see things the way you see them based on your experiences. And we're all at different places in learning and life experience. Some people might have had a lot more trials and tribulations coming into this course. Some might have more life experiences. So we just need to acknowledge how everyone's seeing stuff. And a lot of that is just based on your life experience. And if you haven't been exposed to many things, you might be seeing things in a completely different lens. So just something to think about. And then just another thing to be respectful of, and something I'm always concerned and watching for, is intent versus impact. And I just always think about an argument, think about arguing with a sibling, a family member, a significant other, a spouse. You might say things and your intent was to say one thing, but the impact to that person could be something totally different and be hurtful, even though you had no intentions, you didn't feel like that was what you were trying to say. So just be aware that what you think you said may not be what the other person heard. And that is something I'm also going to be aware of, and call me out if there's something that I said that I thought was, very insightful, but maybe hit you on a different mark. So one thing is, if there's something else that you want me to add to this, that, you guys know your class better than me. If there's some other rules you think we need to put in place so that we have a respectful environment, please just email them to me. So success in this course, it will take consistent work, time on your part, keep up with the content. I say this to every group of students, treat this like a 9 to 5. Any breaks you have, I know it's different when you're not at the class, at the school, but if you can, from 9 to 5, work solidly, especially on your break times, it will allow for you to have a little bit more freedom in the evening if you've got jobs or family responsibilities. Come to class virtually, and I try and emphasize key points and concepts that will be testable on assignments, midterms, exams. So I might say, hint, hint, this is a really good question for a test, which then makes it worthwhile to come to class, I hope. Take responsibility for your learning early on. It's okay if you're having difficulty. It's not okay if you don't come and get help. And the students who show up 2 weeks before, the final exam and they're failing, there's really not much I can do. There's not enough study or tutoring time. So if you're struggling, especially after the first midterm or assignment, make an appointment to come see me. At this level now, I can't reach out to you, even though I could see that you're struggling. You're all adults now. I want you to know I'm here to help you, but you have to give me time to do that. And 2 weeks before, even 3 or 4 weeks before the final exam is not that time. So reach out early on if you feel you're struggling. Read the chapters before class. Things are going to make more sense that way. You guys have access to the clinical learning suites. So in your course plan, you're going to see all these supplementary HESI case studies. You don't get a lot of clinical and real life hands-on experience for mental health unless you pick that for your final placement. These case studies, myself as a nurse, have learned so much from. So I highly suggest you do them. It will give you really insight of what are the things you're going to need to know as a nurse in mental health. And I'm going to be going through those and pulling some of the questions they ask as some of the multiple choice questions for tests. So just so you know, hint, hint, use my office hours for questions and help. And there's no shame in needing help. The shame is if you don't ask for it soon enough, especially if you've recognized it earlier on. So log into D2L frequently throughout the day. Check out the Start Here module in our D2L course, and I'll show you that right after. Check the news feed daily, and that goes for every course because there's lots of key components. I might say, hey guys, this is a great resource, or hey, I saw an error in one of my PowerPoints. Review and know how to use the email function. Review the course calendar for test assignments and exams. So I've got all of that in the calendar for our D2L course. Find your lecture material and review before class. And definitely 100% look at the course outline and the course plan, especially for you, the course plan, because that'll outline every day what you should be reading, every week what you should be reading, what's happening in that class. Do we have a guest speaker? Is there anything you need to do before? So that's a really important document. So how do you pass? So one thing, review the course outline, but I do have a course addendum, and that just means that there was one assessment that I was changing, and I'll talk about it in just a sec. So you're going to have 2 midterms. They're each 20%. They're going to be delivered online in a lockdown browser, so you can do it from home. Closer to the date, I'm going to talk to the other the other full-time faculty and see what and how that worked, whether if you are worried about connectivity, if there's rooms that you can come and write the test in on campus if it needs to happen. Just with all the COVID policies, it is always changing. So I will reach out to you guys to let you know options closer to the midterm date. You're going to have 3 assignments. So 2 are 10%. And 1 is an online assignment. It is going to be a written one. It's 5%, and it will be related to, I'm trying, and hopefully everything's working out, but I'm going to have a mental health panel right before you guys go off for reading week, where you're going to get to talk to real life nurses, managers, who work in mental health and can give you a true perspective of what it's like to be a mental health nurse, how to prepare, why they went into it, which then will be linked to that assignment. This is the one thing that I changed from what the course outline originally said. So before, you were supposed to have 2 quizzes that were 2.5% each. They were bang, bang, like one right after the other, very early in the semester. And I just thought with everything going on, it was going to be really overwhelming for you guys, especially with everything else you're going to have for courses. So you now only have 1 online quiz through D2L that will be 5%. And then you'll have a final exam that's 30%. It'll be in-class online delivery. The other instructor will be definitely the one delivering that, but I will make sure I relay to her what has worked for us for midterms going forward. So just make sure you review the testing policies, especially the ones that are listed specific for our program in the course outline. So tests are to be written on the assigned date. Online in our case with lockdown browser. You must notify me in writing when you're going to be absent, which means an email. So you can't just not show up. If you don't show up or don't write it and don't send me anything, then it's a 0. So no written notification receives a grade of 0. No more than 1 test in each course. So you can miss 1. I highly suggest you don't, because I might have to put it on a time where you have 3 other tests another week. I try not to do that, but when I need to get the test done. So if you can, try not to miss it. Students will not write tests in advance of the scheduled test date, so don't ask that. And missed tests are written at a date and time and location specified by myself. One of the other things is, if anyone has a cap, please send that to me as soon as you possibly can. There's a lot for arranging for online midterms and assignments and even the quiz and setting that up. So the sooner I get it, the more prepared and the better I can have a plan. Getting it the night before a midterm, you know what? If you're not letting me know about that stuff, there's only so much I can do. If you know you're going to get a cap and what you normally get for it, and you just haven't had your meeting, just send me an email so that way I kind of know what to expect as well. So resources, what do you have to review? So please review the weekly course schedule and reading list, and that's in your course plan. You definitely will want the textbook. There's important information that I even pull from for the assignments from the textbook. Anything posted in our D2L course, including videos, links, additional resources, like when I say the HESI case studies, they're all testable material. So just keep up with your readings, your quizzes, and assignments. And then everything's going to be through D2L. So most lectures will be delivered synchronously using virtual classroom in D2L. So I'm going to set that up later this afternoon. I did start a Teams in Microsoft Teams in case something happens with virtual classroom and there's an issue. I just have a quick way to send a link and we can do Microsoft Teams, but I'm hoping that the majority, if not all this class, will be using the virtual classroom in D2L. I'll post a link on the first day, and it also will be found in the calendar. You'll need a laptop for virtual classrooms and for online testing. Must be a laptop for online testing. This is one thing that one of the full-time faculty who've been teaching full-time have said that, trying to do this with an iPad when you're doing the test is impossible. So please line up a laptop when we go to do the midterms, as there's issues with tablets and Chromebooks, I've heard. So if there's any other questions, thoughts, or concerns, normally we would be in class. Even if you want to bring them up at the start of the class, maybe that's what I'll do, ask just to make sure there isn't anything. Please send me an email. I'm going to tell you if you're asking it, there's probably 10 other students who had the same question. So don't be ashamed of that. And the only other thing I wanted to show you guys was just the class. So when you hit on the class, you guys will already see there's some news feeds there. So I just need to make sure that you guys are already registered into the correct Elsevier Clinical Learning Suite. So any students who were on alternate paths, that might be the ones who, please make sure you read over this and have access to the appropriate course so that you can get what I've linked for our class. Just a reminder to send your caps. So what you'll do, come to your lessons. This is where I want you guys to come. Start here. You'll be able to meet me, read over the course outline and course plan, key points of corresponding with me. All your assessments are here. So how am I going to get my marks? The online quiz I will have set up probably a week, or will be a week before it's due. Midterm instructions and breakdown will be a week before. Your assignment number 1 is already posted if for some reason you're keener and want to get started on it. I'm still working on the mental health panel assignment, but this is where you can come and get all that information. If I add anything in there, since it's gone live, I will make sure to let you guys all know. And then week to week, you would just click here. So this week 1, and then you're going to see all the course content that you should be reviewing and that we're going to go over in class. Anything, I'll be recording all these sessions, so I will put the links in here afterwards for you guys to review. And if for some reason there's an error in my PowerPoint presentation, this is where I'd send an email out or a news feed and say, hey guys, I fixed it, and I would come put it back in here. So that was probably a lot for you to take in. You might want to watch it 1 or 2 times, but please know that if you have any questions, I really want to hear from you guys, and I really look forward to meeting you guys all virtually and in person, and help me help you guys make this the most interesting and useful class you have on a Friday morning. So look forward to hearing from you all and seeing you guys Friday morning at 10:30. Okay, have a great day. Bye.